Hello, everybody. I'm Liv, and welcome to Grounded Conversations. For those of you that have been here for a while now, you'll know that I'm at uni, and I think we're on week 10, which is kind of surreal. But I think I was finding at the start, I was finding it really hard to kind of settle in and get the hang of everything and figuring out um just uni life as a whole, and just because everything's so new, like being in a new city, being away from friends and family. It actually took me longer to settle in and get used to everything than what I thought. And I think, I found as well, even just missing my friends and family at home actually took quite a toll on me, especially the first few weeks. Because even though I could message them and talk to them on the phone, it wasn't the same as seeing them in person all the time and just them being there, or having my brother come in my room every night to say good night and everything like that. And it's even though I know they're safe and I know they're okay, living their own lives, and that's really comforting, being away from them kind of forced me to be uncomfortable while at uni, especially in the first couple of weeks. But I realised being uncomfortable has actually helped me grow and kind of just be in a better place than what I would have been if I stayed comfortable and stayed kind of having my whole support system and everything going around me, which, yeah, it was really scary and a lot at the start, but now it's actually completely fine. And I think it's important. I think I just found it important just knowing that discomfort is actually a huge part of life, and that being in uncomfortable situations and not knowing everything and having to figure things out and explore the world by yourself, spend more time with yourself in a way as well, actually does a lot more for you than what people think, and it isn't actually as scary as it might seem. Growth doesn't happen when you stay comfortable or stay in the comfort zone. And in order to break through, in order to become a better person and grow as a person and grow in life as a whole, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations in order to grow as a person and just see life in a different way and just learn new perspectives and new things. And so the theme for this week is learning to let yourself be uncomfortable. And I think it's important to learn to sit with your discomfort and let yourself feel it than hiding or running away from it. As I was saying before, missing home, kind of feeling a bit unsettled in a new environment and just not feeling like you have a safety net to fall back on, even though my close ones are still there and they're still very much there for me. It's weird to be far away from them and distant from them and not being able to just know I'm going to turn up to college tomorrow and I'll be able to tell my friends everything and stuff like that. And I think it's hard when you want that comfort and you want to be able to just go downstairs to the kitchen to talk to your mom or see your favourite teacher that knows you quite well. It's hard when you want that comfort and you're in a place that nobody knows you and that you don't really know what to do with yourself and with your life in a way, because everything's just very different and not how you're used to knowing it. And I think I was thinking about it, about just feeling uncomfortable and just knowing that your body kind of feels unsafe because it knows that things are different, and that even though it isn't unsafe, you're just uncomfortable, how it can take a lot to actually settle in, and even emotionally it can actually have quite a toll on you just to let yourself be uncomfortable. And I thought about it, it's kind of like learning to swim. When you're a kid, obviously, when you have swimming lessons, when you're just first going into the water, it's actually quite scary, especially when it's lessons without your parents. How when you're just basically thrown into the water and just swim, because if you don't learn to swim, you'll end up drowning. And so if you don't learn to let yourself be uncomfortable and learn through it and to learn through the situation and just tackle it in a way, you'll end up drowning. And I think it's our choice whether we want to be thrown into the water and just thrown into the discomfort, or let ourselves walk in it slowly. Because being uncomfortable is so important to grow. It's important, we have some control over that. We have some control over making ourselves be uncomfortable and not avoiding things that make us uncomfortable. For me recently, I've realised, because I haven't actually stepped in the gym at uni yet. I have my membership, I just haven't gone in. I found it more intimidating now because I haven't just gone and let myself be uncomfortable, even though I know I won't be after the 5 minutes of me being there. But because I haven't actually let myself be discomforted, because I haven't let myself feel the discomfort from initially going to the gym, I haven't been able to work through that and grow through that and actually do this thing that will be so beneficial to me. And I think it's kind of like learning to swim. It's gonna suck at the start when you don't know anything and the water's cold and you don't know the other people you're learning to swim with or the teacher really, and you're just being thrown in the water being done, kick your legs, well done. But you end up getting through it and you learn not to drown and you learn to hold yourself up in a way. And it's quite a good thing to be proud of. But I think in life, in situations where it can feel like we're drowning, we can either let ourselves drown or we can learn to swim through it and grow as a person and then come out stronger the other end because of it. And I think, as I said before, like being away from my usual support system, it's actually taught me to kind of rely on myself and even God a bit more, because instead of relying on my friends and my friends will be there for me, it's made me realize actually the only things I'm always going to have in this life and just forever in general is myself and God. And it's helped me to actually rely on that more and rely on God more rather than people. So it actually has been beneficial, not even just for me growing as a person, but growing like in my faith as well. And no matter what you believe in, I think it's important to have something that is always there for you, like God, the universe, whatever you believe in, that you can fall back on and just have faith that they have you and that you'll be okay, that you'll get through the tough times and the situations with that. And I think there's a lot of reasons for why we don't like the feeling of discomfort, because I think just in general, our brains are wired for safety, because our brains like to choose what's familiar to us and what we're used to rather than what's not good for us. And it can kind of convince us that something is unsafe because of that, because we can end up developing a fear of failing, fear of embarrassment, or a fear we won't be good at something immediately. And it can make us shy away from doing things that we want to do and make us want to hide and not feel uncomfortable, because we want to feel comfortable because that's just how we're wired, and it's hard to push through that and to push and do new things. Being comfortable often makes it feel like we're in control and makes us feel like, actually, I'm doing great. And that can make discomfort feel more like chaos. And if we don't let ourselves be uncomfortable, we won't actually grow, because comfort does feel so familiar and so like we're used to it. Your brain knows what to expect, so it relaxes and everything feels predictable and safe. And whilst it is nice to feel comfortable, discomfort feels so chaotic because it is so unfamiliar to us, because your brain can't predict the outcome afterwards. So it kind of makes your brain freak out. And especially, like, I know for me, it can make me get so anxious. And so just in my head being like, oh, what if everybody's looking at me? What if people say this? What if I mess up on this? What if that happens? It's like, actually, if we let ourselves kind of just like go for it and just say to ourselves, like, I'm safe, this is fine, we've done worse, it's okay, it's fine. Like, I had a group presentation today and we were just talking about it in general, and a lot of them were nervous, being like, oh, like, what if people stand outside or are watching, or what if I mess up this bit? And it's like, actually, if we do mess up, not the end of the world. People don't care enough about us to actually be paying attention to what we're doing. And also, once it's done, 20 minutes time, we don't have to do this presentation ever again or look at it ever again until, well, other than when we get a grade. But everything's actually more calm than what you think. And I think being in new situations, even if you're initially excited to be in them, because they're new situations that you don't necessarily expect and you don't know what's going to happen, you can feel quite uncertain, which feels quite messy, even when you are actually safe. You just feel quite chaotic and like everything's going on around you, like you don't have control over anything, when in reality you're actually okay. You just have to convince your brain that you are, because our brain likes to keep us safe. So if it thinks that if it's not used to something, it goes, oh, this isn't what we're used to. This isn't what I predicted to happen. And we have to kind of rewire that and tell ourselves that we're safe and tell ourselves that it's fine and completely normal, because we want to grow into the best version of ourselves. And it's important to be uncomfortable in order to get there. And I think society, especially social media, can sort of glamorise glow-ups at times as well, because it skips all the messiness in the middle. Because we see all the success and confidence and the big transformation that people go through, but not the struggle behind it. And I mean, I know a lot of people are trying to be more authentic on social media, and I do fully believe in following creators that are showing all the, like, some of the little bits in their journey that are hard to show, because in between growing, and no matter when, like, especially if you are having a glow up, there's a lot of doubt and discipline and setbacks involved, and they kind of get skipped over and not really talked about, because it's not as aesthetic and because it's not as pretty and glamorized as people want it to be. And nobody shows the nights of self-doubt and not being able to sleep because you're doubting yourself and feeling uncomfortable, and the small failures and the slow progress. And I think we think growth should be so quick and pretty and aesthetic and effortless. And especially when you see things online like, oh, how to grow up in a week, a 2-month transformation, which like can work for some people, but you're gonna have to be so disciplined and so on it in order to actually do that. But in reality, real growth is awkward, emotional, and really uncomfortable. And it can look glamorous from the outside, but behind it is a lot of chaos, discipline, and discomfort that people don't post and don't really talk about. And it's so important to be discomfortable in order to grow, as I said before, because you literally cannot evolve without it. So it helps build your resilience and inner strength. You actually discover what you're capable of, which is a lot more than you think. It makes you more adaptable, creates more opportunities for yourself when you find new friendships, skills, experiences, and just realize there's a lot more to appreciate and think about than what you thought. It teaches you confidence, like I can do hard things, shapes you as a person, and develops you so you can grow and thrive, especially in environments where you think it's hard to at the start. And I think when you're moving away from home, starting something new, creating patterns and just healing in general, it's important to grow and just to learn from yourself and learn from the experiences you're having. And I think we have to reframe discomfort instead of thinking I'm scared or bad things are going to happen. I think this actually means I'm growing and that I'm okay and that I'm developing as a person, and that's great. And I'd love to see who I'm becoming. And you can be a huge part of your journey through growing. If you think about who you want to be, you think about how am I going to get there? Like, think about who I want to be in the future. And I'm like, actually, I want to be a more active person. So I'm going to try and actually step in the gym for one and go on more walks and find the activities I enjoy and start small. We don't need huge leaps, do small stretches and small little steps that matter rather than just diving in the deep end when you can't swim. Take the steps down the shallow end instead and ease your way up and allow the feeling of discomfort. You don't have to eliminate it, but just let discomfort exist without panicking and just let yourself feel okay without freaking out or anything like that. And break down the situation. Like, what are you actually fearing? Are you scared of people looking at you? Are you scared of something going wrong? Are you just scared because you don't know what's going to happen? And any of them are okay. But then think about what evidence you have that you can handle it. What situations have you gone through before that were hard and you thought, I'm not going to be able to do this and it's going to go wrong, but it actually went better than you thought or went all right and you got through it? And remember past victories. So times you were uncomfortable and it came out stronger, or it went okay and didn't actually fail. And practice self-compassion. It's gonna be a lot if you're trying to be proper disciplined and make a big change in your life. But give yourself grace. Just know that it's not gonna be as quick as you think. It might take longer. You might have some off days, but as long as you're trying to get 1% better every day, give yourself grace and allow yourself to do that. And don't confuse discomfort with danger. Being uncomfortable can often feel unsafe, but it doesn't have to be that. And our brain often reacts the same way when we feel discomfort that we feel unsafe. It can make us kind of like set off the alarm that we're in danger. But you can gently override that. Like, I like saying affirmations when I do feel anxious or like this is new to me. I just say I am safe. I can get through this. I've done so much worse. And the world's not going to stop spinning afterwards. And if I mess up, I mess up. It'll make a good story. Yeah, be graceful to yourself and have grace for yourself. And just let yourself be uncomfortable. It won't last forever, but let yourself be uncomfortable long enough to grow into the person you're becoming and the person you want to become, because you have some control over that. If you let yourself grow and move in life, you have control over that. So do one thing that makes you uncomfortable this week. And just, even if it's just going to a lecture by yourself or stepping in the gym or waking up 5 minutes early so you can get something done, or posting that TikTok you've always wanted to post, but you're worried what people are going to say or think, or that you won't find your audience. Just do something that makes you uncomfortable, even if you think nobody's going to care or you don't really think about the effect it will have. Just do one little thing, and I promise it won't be as bad as you think, and you'll be completely fine afterwards, and it'll be good. And if you do something uncomfortable that you want to share, my DMs are always open. My Instagram is at olivia.merryweather, so feel free to message me on there if you have any questions or anything at all, honestly. And thank you everybody so much for listening. If you don't already, please follow. It truly does mean a lot to me. And I'll see you all next week. Thank you everybody. Bye.